Hey everybody. So this is my first video ever and I'm just experimenting, but we're gonna see how it goes. I've actually already listened to my voice on here. I sound kind of douchey, but you should roll with it and listen to me anyways because I promise you'll learn something about Resto Druid. So this is my complete Resto Druid PvP guide for 7.3.5 and I'm gonna go over everything. I'm tired of watching these videos on YouTube and they only really go over the talents, and that's it. They don't really tell you how to play, what to do, or anything. So I'm gonna go over like everything. So let's do it. First thing I'm gonna go over is talents. Um, I love Cenarium Ward. It's a great instant cast. Um, in this current meta, I don't like Abundance is good, but I don't really like it because you have a lot of like chances to just get locked out by enemy caster teams. So I would go with Snare where it's a really good heal. Displacer Beast most of the time, Renewal probably like 10% of the time. If you're playing against a team that you can't get away from, like maybe like a DH or a Windwalker, but Displacer Beast all the time, pretty much. Guardian Affinity, um, all the time. Unless in twos you want to play Feral Affinity, which, Guardian Affinity. Mighty Bash, pretty much all the time. Cultivation is great. I would maybe run Incarn against, if you're playing against a jungle comp or an RMP, then I would maybe use this. You can experiment with this, but Cultivation is still pretty good. Germination all the time, and Stonebark every time. Gladiator's Medallion, that's just standard. You can run Relentless, but against like rogues and stuff like that, definitely not going to work. Vim and Vigor, I use this pretty much like every match. But if teams are going to realize that you're using it, they're going to target you and try to get you below that 80% health, so you're not doing that much or as much healing. Defender of the Week, it works. I prefer Vim and Vigor. More healing, or more healing done. Output, stronger heals. Druid of the Claw, this is more of a threes thing. People are going to just target you down in threes probably. Resto Druids, yeah, targeted like a bitch and people will train you. Thorns for twos, love this shit. I mean, you can run Thorns in threes, but it's just, you're going to get trained. So I prefer this. Cyclone, no brainer. Revitalize for melee teams, Nourish for caster teams, and focus growth every single time. It's so good. Okay, so enough with the talents, and we're just gonna go over the moves. So let's just start off with regrowth. This is a medium heal, and it's a fast heal. So if your team, you got your hots rolling and you need to top them real quick, spam some regrowths out. All right, just try not to get interrupted. Easier said than done. A lot of people don't use Healing Touch in Arena, but it's a really strong heal. If you can sit far away and spam your Healing Touch, it heals for a lot. You should test this out if you don't use this enough. And then your Effervescence. So glad I didn't butcher that name. Yeah, this is really good if you know like your team is going to be standing in a specific area. Really good. It's just like an extra dot, pretty much, or extra hot that you could really use. I like it, but most people don't use it enough. It consumes a lot of mana, so try not to put it in like try not to just use it like all the fucking time. Life Bloom. This is like the bread and butter of Resto Druids. So I'm gonna give you 2 tips here for your Life Bloom. Okay. All right, let's put a Life Bloom on me. The main mistake I see Resto Druids do is they just put their Life Bloom on again. Watch, nothing happens. I don't get a heal from that, but I'm refreshing my Life Bloom, which is good. But if you wait until your Life Bloom is 5 seconds or less, you will get a nice heal. So watch, it's 5 seconds or less, boom, a 450k heal. That is definitely going to help you so much on your druid. I know it helps me. So wait until below 5 seconds. Remember that, okay? Look at that. Alright, but look without it. No heal. Don't get that heal. Don't get that heal. Okay? So remember that tip. Another tip for the Life Bloom. If you're facing a Resto Shaman team and they're just purging you to death, you have no hots on your teammate, use Life Bloom. Just spam Life Bloom. Spam Life Bloom. Because look, let's go to Life Bloom here. When Life Bloom expires or is dispelled, the target is instantly healed for 400k. So regardless if the Shaman is purging, you are still going to get a 400k heal on them. And that's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong heal. And lastly, your Life Bloom, it's so good with focus growth. You want to keep those 3 stacks up at all times, so try your best not to let your Life Bloom fall off. Alright? Cenarian Ward, a huge heal. I mean, 1.1 million, that's a lot over 8 seconds. But it's so good. You don't want to use it when you're full health, that's for sure. You want to use it when your teammate is really going down. Like, I'd say I usually use it at like 50% when I see my teammates going down early around. Alright, so use that, and I would trade off between the Swiftmen and the Cenarian Ward. If you're going to use Cenarian Ward, don't use Swiftmen right after. I don't recommend it. Use this one when your teammate's going down, and then again when they're going down, use that Swiftman. Okay? Rejuve is just, that's obvious. You want to keep those 2. Try to keep them on your teammates, keep them on yourself at all times. Overgrowth, don't worry about that shit. Your artifact, Essence of Gnar. You should use this when all of your teammates, if you're doing 3s, all of you are going down. You're getting rotted or whatever's happening. I'd say 2 to 3 teammates going down at the same time. This is perfect. And I really like to stack this with my Tranquility. I go behind, I'll have my hots up, try to get my hots up on my team, and I'll get the Essence of Gnar, and then if it's still not working, I will Tranquility behind a pillar so I am not getting kicked. I really like that. Moonfire, Sunfire, more of a 2s thing to try to use, because in 3s, you're going to be frantically trying to, heal your partners up. But yeah, it's really nice if you can get these off to help your teammates, because that little bit of damage sometimes, I'm sure you know, can make all the difference. Alright, Vortex. Man, I love this move. You can use it defensively or offensively. Defensively is safer. If you got a melee on you, like DK or whatever, if you have one on you, you can, I'm running around, I'm healing, I got that warrior, he's on my dick, and I can just displace her, and he's going to get sucked right back into that. I mean, I can't fly away in fucking arena, but I will travel for him. So that's a defensive way to use it. An offensive way to use Vortex would be, say you're doing 3s, and you see a bunch of the enemies are just clumped up together. If you are with, say you're with a Windwalker, he can get all 3 of those guys in a leg sweep. And it'll work out perfectly because your Vortex will just suck them all right in, leg sweep, and that will make them fall behind a lot. So Vortex, cool, experiment with it. Tangling Roots, really good. For melee, of course. I'm sure any melee will tell you, like, they hate getting rooted. It's such a bitch, especially if their healer's not paying attention when they get rooted. Alright, so just experiment with that one too. Try to root the melee if you can, and try not to get locked out. But I mean, you should have hots on your party members before you do entangling roots. Thorns, like I said, can use in 3s, but mostly a 2s thing. It's really strong, 2s against melee. Nature's Cure. I really recommend that you get the add-on Big Debuff, because when you get the big debuff, it'll show you what kind of things you can dispel. They'll pop up, you know, and it'll show you like Hajj, fears, when your teammates are getting rooted, like things like that you need to dispel quickly in order to be successful in arena. Wild growth. Say your team is like taking the dickens really fucking hard, and you got your HOTS all up, and nothing is happening, like whatever, and you don't have Scenarium where you don't have Swiftman, and you need to, don't fucking cheer at me, you dumbass. You need an extra heal. Like your team is still going down. Wild growth is perfect, but it's chancy, you know. You could get locked out, but I'd say it's worth it. Just make sure you're paying attention to your enemies' lockouts. That's really important. What they have and what they're going to use against you. Bash, twos, guys. This is really strong. I mean, it's really good in threes too. I shouldn't say that, but in twos, like when you're getting a setup, say you want to CC the healer with your bash, like a game I would just start out. I'd be stealth. Partner's going to go out. He's probably going to go on the DPS most likely. I'm going to go out and I'm going to bash that healer and I'm going to try to cyclone him. And I'm going to tell my DPS to burst. And this will most likely force Trinket at the very beginning of the game. Because you can just, most of the time they're going to be sitting back behind a pillar and you can just keep cycloning them 3 times and a full bash. That's a lot of CC, and I don't think they can deal with that with all the burst. So that's how I like to open up in twos. Threes, you can do that, but threes, you want to get your HOTS rolling on your teammates because they're going to be taking a lot of damage, and then you take your chance with the bash. And get your teammates to tell you who you want them to bash, or who they want you to bash, I should say, and go from there. But in twos, yeah, follow that, and you'll do really good on your Resto Druid. Cyclone. Wow, this is a big thing. Let's just go over all the things with Cyclone, because I remember when I first started my Resto Druid, I was just cloning shit like randomly as fuck. But Cyclone, you want to cyclone CDs, offensive CDs and defensive CDs. For example, take a DK, for example. He's Pillar of Frosting. I'm going to try to, he's not going to probably let you, but I'm going to try my best to clone that. I'm going to try to mitigate the damage that he's doing. Mind you, I'm going to have my teammate fully hotted before I do that. I'm not just going to try to go in and clone when my teammate isn't hotted or doing all right on health, because the DK, if he's really good, he's going to grip you or try to mind freeze you. So pay attention to that, but try to CC the Pillar of Frost. It'll help you so much. And also defensive abilities as well. And I'll use DK again for example. Icebound. If you can clone this quickly, they won't get that big heal off. Okay? And that goes for any other class. Shaman, their Astral Shift, things like that. And they're going to use that when they're getting low on health. And this is the perfect time to clone. Okay? Getting a DPS when they're low health in a clone fucks them up so badly, because then maybe you have your bash up and the DR maybe is off clone on the healer. You can go and bash the healer and then clone them, and then that DPS is just sitting at low health and your teammate is going to fuck them up. So pay attention to that. Clone is also really good to use. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. But you want to use clone. What the fuck was I gonna say? God damn it. Alright, clone. I said offensive CDs and defensive CDs, cloning low on health. Yeah, actually that's like pretty much all there is to cloning. I mean, you don't want to clone somebody when they're just not doing anything. You don't want to just clone them when they're full health or when they're not bursting, it's just a waste, okay? So make sure you're using it on CDs, offensive or defensive. It'll fuck their lives. They'll get so pissed. But, oh yeah, I was going to talk about fake casting your Cyclones. Fake casting Cyclone is so important. I don't know if, I mean, you might be able to hit a higher rating, but people are going to watch your Cyclones. Shamans, for example, wind shear is annoying as fuck. But you want to fake cast. Fake casting is so good. Try to practice it in arena. People might interrupt you later in your cast. Like, wait till the very end. They might wait till the very end to fucking interrupt you, or they might just do it at the very beginning of your cast. So just make sure you experiment with that. See what the other team is trying to do. All right, fake casting is really important. Okay, Tranquility, I already went over that. You can pair it up with the artifact. It's really useful. Trinket, you know what the fuck that does. War Stomp, awesome. Love going behind pillars when people are off DR, like warriors or like melee or whatever. And War Stomp cloning, it's so nice, and it'll save you a lot of times. Displacer, it's really good. Saves you in a lot of situations. For example, though, do not Displacer before a DK uses his Death Grip. That you'll just get shit on. He'll just Death Grip you and fucking kill you. Wait for his Death Grip and then Displacer. That's just one example. Iron Bark. Okay, I keep using DKs for example, but they're just so easy because they're fucking so broken. In 2s at least. But Pillar of Frost, say you cannot get a clone and there's not a chance that you can get a clone. Using Iron Bark is a really good trade-off because it's a 1-minute cooldown and so is Pillar of Frost. So if you see that Pillar of Frost, don't be afraid to Iron Bark. It's really good to use when other teams are using their CDs, their offensive CDs against you. Same with Bark Skin, but only on yourself. If people are going on you and they're using their enemy CDs, like their offensive ones, Bear Form, Bark Skin, perfect. And this is just my macro for my Innervate to myself. Use your own judgment when you're going to be spending a lot of mana. Dash. Okay, say you're facing a DK. I'm going to do DK again, for example. Say you don't have Displacer Beast, and a DK gets on you. What the fuck do you do? They're kiting, or they're getting you, and you're trying to travel for them, but they just keep chains of icing you, and they're fucking you up. This is perfect. Your dash is the best to get away from DKs, warriors, whatever. They're gonna keep chains of icing you. Just go travel, cat form, travel, cat form. It's perfect. You'll get away from them. And so funny, when I first started playing Resto Druid, I would just waste that at the beginning of matches and just try to get like a fast bash off. But it's really useful for melee. Okay, experiment with that one. And then your proud. Obviously, at the beginning of games, you're going to be proud. Try to get that bash off in the clone if you're doing 2s, or you could even do it in 3s if that's what your team comp wants you to do. But in the middle of games, if they're not targeting you, you get full hots on your teammates. Try to sneak off behind a pillar and just get a little prowl off. You know what I'm saying? Get that prowl off, and then maybe you can come out and do a cyclone on somebody when they don't expect it. Okay, so that's most of the moves. I'm gonna go over your forms. Bear form, mostly travel form. Travel form. This is gonna help you get away from people. It's hard. It's really hard to use. Try to get used to it. Just try to experiment with this all the time because travel form is really good for getting you. It'll get you out of any route. I mean, you know, like you can just go, boom, try to get fast at it. Okay. Cat form, you have to worry about that too much. Bear form, really important. The more I play my Resto Druid, the more I realize how often I need to be in bear form. Dude, what is up with these fucking people? Get the fuck away from me. But yeah, oh god, this bear. God damn it, this dude is fucking annoying me. Anyways, bear form is the best. It's your best friend. Get your teammates fully hotted, whatever. Against rogues are like Resto Druid's kryptonite. You need to be in bear form like all the fucking time. Like when you're facing them, they want to swap to you. They want to get swap to you while you're out of form, and they want to kidney you, and then you're gonna be fucked. Probably force a trinket, and then you're gonna get blind full, and they're gonna kill you. Blind full into a sap, and then they're gonna kill your teammate. So you have to be so aware of this. Bear form, so good, and especially for things like stuns. Like take a Holy Pally for instance. He is gonna try to Hajj you in the very beginning of the game, and if he's running Repentance and you're out of form, you will sit in like 12 seconds of CC. Okay, but if you're in bear form and you get Hajjed, he cannot repent you. All right, you can't get Hex, Polyed, Repented, or whatever when you're in bear or any of these forms. Okay, so keep that in mind. Bear form is awesome, especially for any type of stun. Kidneys, leg sweep, Hajj, whatever. Okay, bear form is awesome. Frenzy regen, obviously just perfect for when you're getting crapped on. And you can do a little bit of damage to rogues, or not just rogues, but I find it most useful for rogues because you can get your Moonfire off easily on them, and you can put a Thrash on them for when they use their Vanish. It'll make them come out. Or, I'm sorry, Cloak of Shadows. This will make them come out. But yeah, bear form, super important. Experiment with that a lot more too. Okay. Positioning, guys. Positioning is so important as a Resto Druid, especially in this patch or just in Legion in general. You get shit on. Like, say, okay, 40-yard range is like the maximum you can stand from your partners being able to still heal them. Rogues and DKs, I keep using them as an example because they're so annoying. But rogues and DKs, a rogue can't shadow step you. They have to come towards you to shadow step you because you're so far away. So say I'm standing at a 30-yard range, maybe. A rogue could, or 30, I don't know how far the range is on shadow step, but it's pretty far. But say I'm standing pretty close. They can instantly shadow step to me and kidney me, which is not good. If I'm standing at 40 yards away, they can't instantly do that. I can see them coming towards me and I can react. Same thing with the DK. DKs can't grip you if you're standing that far away. They have to come towards you. Okay, so you can normally see it, and you can go around, a pillar and hide. Like it's really good to stand far away. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're playing, especially against DKs and rogues. DKs, oh my god, they're gonna hate their lives if you keep standing that far away. They'll never be able to get to you. All right, positioning is really important, and also that's a defensive way of positioning. You can also go on the offensive. When you clone, your clone is a 20-yard range. Okay. You want to stay at that 20-yard range. You don't want to go up next to someone and clone them, okay? Especially DKs. You want to stay at that 20-yard range and try to clone them. If you see them even come close, like if you see them running towards you, get the fuck out of there, all right? You do not want to mess with that shit. You want to get out of there, all right? So it's important to know when to go offensive, but it's also important to know when to keep it safe. All right, and DKs, you don't want to go anywhere near them, or they will stay on you and you will hate your life. All right, now I'm going to talk about some comps for Resto Druids. They're not, they don't have as many comps as they used to, but they do have a really, really strong one right now, and it's LSD, and that's Demo Lock, Ellie Shaman, and you, of course, the Resto Druid. It just won the tournament in Europe, and it's really strong. Some other comps that I recommend are RMD. Rogue Mage is always a strong comp. Doesn't really matter the healer. I mean, it does. It's really strong with the Priest, but you can get away with it with the Druid. I really like Resto Druid Windwalker Arcane Mage as well. That's super strong. And I also like playing with Ellie's or an Elemental Shaman and Warrior. And lastly, the one I ran the other day was really fun, and it was with a Windwalker and a Destro. That was really fun. So if you want to try any of those, I recommend them. And guys, I just want to say I'm making this video. I just love WoW. WoW is fun as shit. Um, I've always wanted to make videos, and I just want to like help out, people who have trouble in PvP, because I remember how it was. Like, I didn't know shit on this guy, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm gonna have to learn this. And it's just been a really fun journey, and um, I can't wait to like keep getting better on this guy. If you have any tips for me or whatever, let me know. Because I mean, the best I've been in twos, I was 2400 last season. Threes, I just started doing a little seriously, and last season I ended up duelist, and I want to hit 2400 in threes. That's my goal. Um, right now, I'm just chilling at that, hanging out, doing games with friends, just seeing what comps are fun. I have some recommendations for twos. If you want to get really high, you can play with, I'd say, DK. Uh, Obviously, DK, I guess. DK can play with anything. Warrior, a DK Warrior and Windwalker for me are the most fun to play with, and the easiest. Threes already went over those comps, but yeah, and so I guess this concludes the video. I had a really good time making it. I hope you guys enjoy it or learn something from it. My name's Lasagna Lover, by the way. I think that's pretty funny. You guys can call me Lasagna Lover, by the way, and let me know if you want me to make more videos. I play Arena just with my friends, and we laugh and have a good time and enjoy WoW. Always stay positive, guys, when you're playing Arena, and always criticize yourself before you do anybody else. Of course, there's going to be rage moments, but try to keep those at a minimum. All right, guys. But anyways, take it easy, y'all. Lasagna Lover out.